Welcome to Wrestling with Heart, a podcast looking at pro wrestlers giving back to their community. Join me, Stanley Carr, as I interview wrestling's hottest names who use their platforms as entertainers to raise awareness and do community service. Hello and welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Heart. This is the show where we talk with professional wrestlers and professional wrestling personalities about their lives in and outside of the ring, as well as doing acts of charity work, community service, volunteering, and spreading positivity. We're always about the positivity here on the show, and with me right now I've got a very special guest. You may know her from her time on Glow as Sunny the California Girl. She is an actress, model, radio talk show host. Pleased to welcome the one, the only Patricia Summerland to the show. Welcome, Patricia, to Wrestling with Heart.
Hi, thank you, Stanley, for having me.
Yes.
I love it, Wrestling with Heart, because that's what we do. Everything in life is with the heart, and it should be.
Yes, I appreciate that very much. So let's get started. Tell me about your childhood. Where are you from?
Okay, so I am true to my character, first of all, for everyone who's listening, because a lot of wrestling characters are in Glow come alive as, real life superheroes. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. So I'm a true blue. So my character, Sunny, was invented because I, as a child, would run to the beach. I hung out by the pool. I had fun in the sun always. So I was always super tan and rollerblading, roller skating. I did all that. So Sunny the California Girl is true to Patricia Summerland from Los Angeles, California. And by the way, I had a fun childhood. Quite interesting though. Boy, I mean, it's going to be, there's so much to tell, Stanley. So it's going to be in my book and movie. It's a 3-part book and movie series, by the way, which I'm blessed to have a wonderful author. I'm so excited. But anyway, we'll get into that.
Yes. So California, very beautiful, gorgeous weather. It's very pretty.
Yes, it is. But, sadly enough, I left California last year and moved to Arizona.
Okay.
So I am now here in Glendale, Arizona. Yeah. And I love it. There's wrestling here in Arizona too. So I feel loved. I've already attended Phoenix Wrestling as a guest, and I'll attend more, I'm sure. And this is the world of stunt work. So, who knows what's in my future there.
What made you decide to move?
Well, because California, I'm going to mention my age because here it comes. I'm very proud. I'll be 60 next month, 11/11. So let's hear it for all the 11/11s, and what a beautiful, graceful number. And 11/11 is, how do I put this? It's very meaningful in many ways, but first off for the veterans. So hats off to all our veterans here now and the ones we've lost, to the ones that are continuing fighting on 11/11. But that's my birthday. It was changed on my birth certificate to November 12th, but I honor it forevermore, 11/11, which is in my butterfly tattoo here. You'll see the 11/11 in the butterfly wing. California was beautiful. I was born and raised in downtown LA. Now, would I set foot in downtown LA? Absolutely in the daytime, not at night. It's not safe. Listen, I'd have to put my real boxing skills to work and stuff like that, and I don't want to. It's just changed over the years, Stanley. Sadly, it's not the pretty California I know. So my family, my daughters uprooted to move to Arizona with my grandsons. And I said, you can't do that without me. Don't you dare. Well, guess what? They did. And here I am, because I have to follow you because family is everything. You know that. And I didn't want to be there alone without my family.
It definitely can be scary if you're going by yourself. But if you have a group of people around you, I mean, it makes all the difference in the world.
Oh,
so
yeah. Most definitely. Yeah, always travel in crowds. That's definitely right.
Was wrestling something you watched as a kid, or is that something you later fell into as far as the television show goes?
It's interesting. So I did watch wrestling live at the Olympic Auditorium. If you remember Freddie Blassie, Classy Blassie, Mr. Moto, the Destroyer, Oh my gosh, Andre the Giant, which I was blessed to meet all of them except for, well, I did meet Freddie Blassie, but I was a child. I was a baby, so I don't remember him. But so at the ring, my father was friends because he was a cop security guard with all of them, and he would transport them to our house for dinner, and then he would take them to the hotel, him and my brother. So I got very close. I was 5 years old, to be exact, with my brother and my mother and my father, and we would watch the wrestling matches at the Olympic Auditorium live. And was I frightened? Oh my God. When Freddie Blassie would come out with his cane in the cage, get ready for his fight, and he would take his cane and hit whoever his opponent was at that time in the head, and all this blood, I would see blood, and I was so scared. I was frightened. But full circle, one day my father was watching Glow on TV on the weekend, and this was obviously the ending of the second season of Glow, and they were auditioning for new Glow girls. So he called me out of my room. I sat down next to him. I said, what's going on, Dad? He goes, watch this. I go, what am I watching? This is women. This is women wrestling. He goes, yeah, they're really good. And they were all different sizes, shapes, colors, and character. Like they had this cool outfits, you know, just like acting when you go in an acting role is so cool. And I'm like, wow, I could maybe do that, but I don't know. So he talked me into sending in my headshot. And that's where it all started. And I got called for the audition, and there was probably, I don't know how many women in North Hollywood, California, in Lankershim Boulevard. There was 380, something like that, I want to say. A ridiculous amount of girls trying out for this wrestling show, which I get because so many actresses want to be on TV. So I went in and I got the audition. I went to Las Vegas and tried out. I went through the trials. Through the rigorous training, which was military training. Matt Simber put us through, I can't even tell you how brutal it was. And I made it. I made the cut. And there were several cuts, by the way. But they monitor you. They watch you for your character. And that's how I became Sunny. I guess I was goofy and silly, blonde, tan. I was the fun and sun, like Hulk Hogan. I was the female version of Hulk Hogan. So I came out, I had a surfboard. I had Spuds McKenzie. I put them on the turnbuckle. If anyone messed with my Spuds, they're getting it. But I was the fun and sun girl. And Matt says, you remind me of my ex-wife, which was Jane Mansfield. And that's where the dingy part came in. And he says, you have to be the bubbly dingy, but you're going to lose. He told me, you're going to lose your matches. I go, what? No, I don't want to lose. So that's where Sunny came in. I played, the lost very well because they thought I was really injured all the time. So apparently I did really good.
I had on Hollywood and April Hahn on
Yes.
recently.
Yes.
And they were the first two, I believe, that made it from the 12 initially that auditioned. So they're telling me their stories about going through the process. I mean, they picked so many people from that cast to go for that role. They didn't even tell, what they were auditioning for. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I know. So the first season and the second season were really different from our season, from the third and fourth season. Our selection was different. There was 70 girls that arrived there, and they got knocked off as we went. So then there was 36 of us, the ones that survived the tryouts. So that was pretty cool. Hollywood stayed from the first to the fourth season. She was the only one. April, I think, was just in the first season. Yeah. So yeah, it was so different. Like we had it, we got to tour the states where the first and second did not. We had a bus and we got to fly into Georgia and we started our tour, which was pretty cool. And we got, we did a lot of game shows and things like that. We did a lot of stuff, and we had our skits where I think the first and second were minimal. I know they had them, but they were very minimal. And we didn't have the Glow House in the first and second season. So they didn't get all those perks that we got. Yeah, in a way. So, hats off to the first, especially the first season, because it was fresh and these girls had no idea what they were getting into. Right. Yeah.
Well, tell me about your audition, because when you're when you step through those ropes, I mean, it's hard. It's like a whole nother animal in itself from just acting, being able to play a role on TV or film. You're in there taking some bumps. You know,
You
they
say that.
hurt.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it hurt because we were in a boxing ring. We weren't even in a legit wrestling ring, first of all.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was solid. I mean, there was just plywood under there, and we hit it hard, boy. The outside of the ring, we'd miss the mats because we had thin line mats around the ring, so we'd hit the cement all the time. The training, I think, what's different because since I'm a boxer, people ask me what's the difference. I said there's a big difference. In boxing, you stay on foot unless you get knocked out, of course. In wrestling, you're not on foot. You're flying. You're doing all these acrobatic maneuvers. So you have to know your gymnastics all over again. And that's what's difficult is your timing with your opponent and each move, because one slip, you're a goner, as is my tag team. I actually had a tag team, believe it or not. No, everybody's like, you had a tag team, Sonny? We never see you come out except for with Sonny and Cher and, different ones. But my tag team, Queenie, was injured in the tryouts in the ring. So they sent her home to Tennessee. She was the beauty queen. She'd come out and do the wave, and it would have been Sonny and Queenie. But she froze up in a monkey toss,
Hmm.
and her collarbone popped out. Yeah, Nanuchka threw her in the turnbuckle, and she was taking her over in a monkey toss, and she froze before she hit the mat. As she hit the mat, that was it. And you can't freeze. You have to stay very lucid. You cannot be fearful and freeze up. And that's what she did. And boom, it was sad. So Sunny was solo. That
You
was sad.
have to really condition yourself and
Oh, yeah.
like really get into shape to
Yes.
be a true wrestler, like be able to survive almost pretty
Oh,
much, you know, when these people they take risks, they do all these dives and flips and
yeah.
get hit hard and everything like that. You have to be able to, come back through all of that.
You got to
And it's
roll
it's
with the
not it's
punches.
not it's not ballet. You really it's
I
very
know.
hard.
Yeah, far from ballet, boy. Um, I think the hardest part is the gymnastics, because I was tall. I always thought I was 5'10", but I'm 5'9", I guess. I went to the doctors the other day. They said, you're 5'9". I go, excuse me, I've been 5'10" forever. So who knows? But in the ring, and so here's the other thing. If you're little, you get to be a flyer. If you're tall, you get to throw, right? Like Big Bad Mama, Mountain Fiji. But I was in the middle. So I got to do both, which I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. So I got thrown a lot and I had to pick up and throw. So that also gave me both variations and an experience of how, to land. And it was brutal, especially body slams and pile drivers, because they don't do the
Um,
pile drivers anymore, right? So Beastie would give me a pile driver, and we did this on tour, the same matches over and over. Well, guess what? One night, the timing was off. My hands didn't hit the mat. My head did. My head turned. They thought I broke my neck. I went off to it in a stretcher. This was in Biloxi, Mississippi. And the crowd's going, Sonny, Sonny, will you be okay? I woke up inside the ambulance. They're taking me to the hospital. And luckily I didn't break my neck. It was all muscle tear, ligament tear in the side of my neck. It was brutal. And I still had to do the match the next day because there's nobody to take our place, right? The match must go on. I mean, now if I was really severe, Matt's not going to put me out there, but I told him we had a 2-day break on tour. We worked 5, 2-day break, 5, 2-day break. So I said, I'll go out there. Let's do this. But you talk about scared because you're back in that position again. I'm like, Beastie, please, let's get this right. I don't want to die, because that's how serious wrestling can be. And that's why I hate it when they say wrestling's fake. It's like, no, get in the ring and try it and then come tell me. So that's the truth there,
yeah.
Stanley. Yeah, that's the real because it's brutal.
When you're training, you're doing all these moves, you're doing these drills, learning how to fall, learning how to bump. I mean, Are there any pieces of advice that the trainers are telling you that you can still recall and stick with you today, even?
Oh yeah, I mean, once you're in the ring and you've wrestled more than say once, and you wrestle over and over, obviously it stays with you. It's like riding a bike. You don't lose that technique. How to land, you've got to catch yourself with your feet and your hands. It's all about the feet and hands, feet and hands, feet and hands, feet and hands before the back. The back is the last to hit. If you hit your back first, you're doing something wrong. And I see that a lot too, by the way. So yeah, the trainers, we had Nanuchka and Lori Palmer train us, which is one insane. And then we had Debbie Debutante. So Debbie and Lori, which is Nanuchka, was our trainers in the third and fourth season. So that's where you're going to find different, because I'm sure they said the first season was a Guerrero family.
And Mondo.
Right? Mondo, yeah. Mondo was still very much a part of Glow. We also had Benny Diamond, by the way, who is our referee, or was in Glow, which is Benny Espinoza, who has Big Valley Wrestling in Las Vegas, and his son's a really good pro wrestler. He taught his son. Yeah, to this day, you might want to get him on. He'll be a great guest. He's also a cancer survivor, by the way.
Yeah, love to.
Yeah.
All right. Who have been some of your favorite opponents to work with during your time on Glow?
Wow. I'd have to say Hollywood and Vine, most definitely. Yeah, we went at it. Went at it. Big Bad Mama. Big Bad Mama put me in a trance with her voodoo dust. That was the hardest match to do, because she had my Barbie doll in her hand, and everything she did with the Barbie doll, I had to do. So she flipped my Barbie doll. I had to flip in place. I had to stand and flip. She turned my Barbie doll this way. I had to flip backwards. Everything she did with my Barbie doll, I had to do. And that was horrible. I was so scared of that match. I'm like, oh my God, what is she going to do with the doll?
I bet that has to be hard to
It's
film,
hard.
because you're doing all of that stuff in post-production.
Yes.
And to be able to mimic those moves that the doll is doing, I mean, that's not easy.
It wasn't at all. And you know what else wasn't easy? Lifting Big Bad Mama.
Yeah.
I lifted her and body slammed her. I don't know how. To this day, that's something I don't know how, because people don't believe me, because they're like, you're so tiny. How did you do that? But that's the training. You know what I mean? It's all training.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that you watch or you go to a lot of the wrestling shows. Now, women's wrestling today, I mean, it has seen such a rise. Like, you go to shows like WWE, AEW, WOW, Women of Wrestling. I mean, it has picked up Impact, NWA. There's so much interest now in women's wrestling, and I feel like Glow really played a huge part in bringing that to the forefront. I mean, do you keep up at all with the women's scene today as far as the mainstream products go?
I do. And I have to say, WOW is amazing. I use some of the girls. I put on charity wrestling events for veterans and stuff. So a couple of years back, pre-COVID, I haven't did anything since COVID and my cancer stuff, but pre-COVID, we did a veterans show, and I brought in one of the girls from WOW. She was amazing. But we used to go to the WOW shows, a special guest, myself and Roxy. And I thought, wow, this is Glow all over again, except minus the skits. These girls are really, really good. And in WWE, they've came full circle. I mean, it's incredible. They're number one. I think the girls are better than the guys, I have to say. Ooh, whoops, did I say that? And who's my favorite out of all? And she's now considered old school, Natalya. And I always say this on all my shows, Natalya Hart. I love her. I love the Hart family, but she, I think, deserves so much more than what she gets, because she's just so good.
She has just come so far, a long way, and to see her progression over the years, really, she'll go down the history books as one of the best to ever do it.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Oh, absolutely. Plus, she looks so hot still. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's posing now in her suits and stuff. I follow her stuff on Instagram. She knows. Yeah.
All
But
right.
anyway, yeah, she's amazing. I mean, I think anybody who gets in the ring is, because if you actually have the nerve to go in, even just to try out, God bless you, and good for you. But the main thing is you really got to, my advice is you really got to want to wrestle, because if you don't want to wrestle, you're going to get hurt. If you're just going in just to go, oh, here, let me, try it. You have to have the experience, because you're going to get injured. It's no joke. So you got to take it seriously, do the proper protocol, go to a training school, get trained, and then go from there and get your character development. And, it's a process and it takes time. You don't just get in there overnight and become big and famous on TV. It takes a lot of time.
It
Yeah.
definitely does.
Yeah.
And I know when I had April on and Hollywood on, they talked about the Glow reunions. I mean,
Yes.
it's when you go back and see these people that you haven't seen in so many years. I mean, it's an amazing feeling.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we did an Afterglow fan party in 2014. Before 2014, we all dispersed. None of us really conversated. Like, there was nobody. We didn't know where anybody went, because the show, ended the fourth season, almost like the Glow Netflix show, which it ended in the season 3. But we all came together, or not all, just some of the first season, second season, and our seasons. Roxy brought that together, and that was in 2014. I think there was, how many of us? 10, 12 of us girls, I think. Yeah. And we all came together, and then we started doing Afterglow fan party cruises and things like that for the fans. And that was fun. Yeah.
Definitely brings back a lot of memories. New generations are checking out Glow. It's so cool what you all were able to do and are still able to contribute to the wrestling business. I
Yes.
want to talk about the stuff that you've done outside of wrestling. You'd mentioned earlier you've done some charity shows, and want to talk about some of the things that you've done outside of the business. What kinds of things that have you done as far as charity work and things that you've done to help out in your community?
Oh my gosh. So I've always been involved in diabetes, Walk for Diabetes. My mother was a diabetic and she passed away. So I'm a big advocate for diabetes. And I think where my heart is, and also heart association, because my father died of
I'm
heart
so
issue.
sorry.
So, and also another one, suicide. I have so many, and it's all heartfelt. I lost everybody. It seems like it's really kind of sad, but
Very sorry to hear
my
that.
brother committed suicide in 1985, and I lost my father in 88 in the ring when I was wrestling, and I forgot who I was wrestling. But anyway, I got the news that my father wasn't doing well. So they took me out of the ring and told me that. So suicide, bullying, because my brother was bullied in a big way. And that's where my boxing came in, because I was always fighting. I was sticking up for my brother, because my brother wouldn't hurt anybody. He was 4 years older than I was. And on the way to school, my brother had a hip displacement. So his foot would go out, turn sideways. And, kids are just mean. They would tease him and call him retarded, call him all these names. So at the end, finally, I got tired of it. And I'm like, leave my brother alone, right? And they would start ganging up on me. So I'm on the corner after school fighting, because they challenged me to a fight. And I don't back down, Stanley. I will fight. I fight for what's right, as they say. Fight for what's right to party. That's another saying. But we fight. So I was on there brawling. And I had an instinct just to start boxing. I never pulled hair. I never scratched like a girl. I was a tomboy, so, go figure. So that was my fighting thing. But my passions and what I stand by are those causes. And colon cancer, with my diagnosis during COVID in 2021, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, given 5 years to live. I went through it alone because it was COVID. Basically, my family could be as far as they could be close to me, but they couldn't be close because of the COVID situation. Everything was locked down. And I went through surgery, major 9-hour surgery, and they got the tumor. Luckily, the lymph nodes weren't invaded. So I survived, and I'm still here to live it, and speak about it. And I go through my cancer stuff still today because now I have it in my lungs and cervical cancer. So it's a continuous thing. But what helps me is that I'm in my advocate groups, colon cancer advocate group on social media. I have tons of people in there that I help out with. And I'm also a nurse now. I'll be getting my RN license at the end of next year. I'm super excited about. So I take care of ALS patients, dementia, Parkinson's, cancer, you name it. So that helps me get through to where we are today. So I'm always doing something in that world. I was honored in 2023 with the Courage Award, which was amazing, by the way, at the Cauliflower Alley Club. And that's my second award because I got all of us girls honored. At the 2017, all the Women's Wrestling Award. So I want to thank everyone at the CAC, Brian Blair, Royal Duncan, Rich Ingling, all the board members, Darla, Barbara, all of them for that award. And, thank you. My heart, it's right by my bed. It's beautiful. And then you see, I have the belt, the glow belt. Can you see over there?
Yep.
That's the glow belt. That's the only glow belt, by the way. Just
okay.
Yeah, here's the funny thing. We didn't get glow belts. We had a crown in glow, right? Everybody knows that. We weren't awarded belts, but I was awarded that belt from the CAC back in 2017. And truly blessed because I worked my butt off to get all of us girls honored. And there was, I think 26 girls that showed up for the honor. So, and I took 6 months off work to do so. And so they honored me that belt. So any other belt you see out there, they're just making that for the fans or whatnot, But no, I hold on to this one and I will fight for that one. That's my baby.
That's you've been through so much, and it's just amazing to see that you've overcome a lot over the years, and still, being able to be with us here. It's a testament to you and the things that you have done, and the fact that you have done so much for other people. I mean, going through so much over the last few years with COVID. I mean, so many people, died and were sick, and it's so sad, when you hear about it, and the effect that, first responders and nurses have had, and doctors on people's lives. I mean, that means so much, it really does.
Thank you. And, hats off to all the first responders. And we lost one of the Glow Girls to COVID, Angel, during that time. And that is really sad. And we lost Sally, the farmer's daughter, to colon cancer. We lost Babe, the farmer's daughter, to breast cancer. Quite a few Glow Girls, are up there. And so, and that's why you must live every day. Enjoy it for what it is. I never plan ahead. People ask me, you don't? I go, no, I can't. I mean, it would be nice, but I just don't. I accept each day for what it is. And I thank God each day for getting up and giving me the breath to continue. And that's all you can do, and I bless my family because I'm blessed with 2 beautiful daughters and 2 grandsons. And I can't ask for any more, and a great family, a great CAC family, all the wrestling family, all the fans, everybody. I want to say thank you. Also, I do have t-shirts and I do have my Playboy issue. I still sell, and I have comic books out on my life story as well. So you got to get that from Marvel Comics.
Yeah. Patricia, this has been great to speak with you. I want to say thank you so much for coming on to the show. It means a lot to me and to my listeners. If you want to go ahead and plug your socials, so if people want to find out more about you, where people can find more about what you do, please feel free.
Absolutely. So on Patricia Summerland Facebook, Instagram, Patricia Summerland. I have a Sunny, the California Girl fan page on Facebook. It is there. I seldom go to that. I interact as Patricia. I just want people to know me, because Glow is now gone, and there's a lot of things I do as Patricia before and after Glow that I want them to know. So just reach out to me under Patricia Moore. So I'm on LinkedIn as well. I did have an Instagram, I'm sorry, as Sunny, and it was up there too. I'm kind of sad. I had so many, I think I had like 12,000 followers, and now it's gone. It was hacked, pretty bad hacked. Like I can't get it back.
Wow.
Sunny cannot get Sunny the California girl back, sadly. So I let that go. But I do have Patricia Summerland, which I'm building it up. It's so hard to, keep building that because I don't have time to do the hashtags. I don't get into all that. I'm just whatever. I just post because I enjoy posting my passions. Let's see what else. Oh, also Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame. So I just did that, and I'm on the board for the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame for martial arts at the Martial Arts Museum. And I got a medallion, an award, and I wasn't expecting that. That was pretty cool. But we had Seth Witz and Al Burke, who's a wrestler. Mm-hmm. So they were inducted, right? They just got inducted. And I'm so happy. And we're taking that to Detroit, Michigan next year. And we're celebrating and honoring all the Black superheroes. So we'll have Billy Blank. We're going to have some wrestlers, I can't say yet, who have never had, their time to shine. So we're going to do that. So stay tuned for that one too. Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame. And I'll post things on there as well. And you can reach out to Kevin Copeland. He's the founder of Bare Knuckle. Yeah. All right. And one of my dearest friends and brothers in arms.
All right. Thanks again. And you're more than welcome to come back.
Yes. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Take care. Have a great day and smile.
Okay. Of course. Bye-bye.
This is Wrestling with Heart. I hope you found this podcast to be informative and entertaining. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and look out for the next edition.